and do not be ungrateful. I.e., of the ni'mah, of the blessings, of the ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking that we be grateful for those blessings that He has bestowed us, and we don't be ungrateful. The Prophet alayhi salatu was salam said, "Man lam yashkur nas lam yashkur Allah." That individual who can't thank the people, like someone does you a favor, or someone does something for you in your benefit, and you can't thank him, then the Prophet ﷺ said that how is it that that person thanks Allah? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed insan with so many blessings, i.e., Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the blessing of sight. But there are many people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't given this blessing to. If you ask a blind man how much of he misses his sight, and he is someone who is grateful for the sight, whereas we don't really think about this. But the eye has such a value that if this was taken away from us, then we wouldn't do a lot of things that we can do in our daily life. So sight is a blessing. Health is also a blessing. If we are weak and if we're ill, then we can't do the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That when we are strong, and when we are physically strong and we are physically well, then in that state we can pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So health is also a blessing. Wealth is also a blessing. There are people that have no wealth. There are people that are poor and are destitute. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have easily put us in Syria today. He could have easily put us in Afghanistan, in the African countries which are suffering from poverty. But He didn't. He put us in this country where they do not let you go hungry, or where they do not let you go without a roof over your head. So wealth is another blessing, but it's also a blessing. How do you use that wealth? Do you use that wealth in a right manner, or do you use that wealth in an unlawful manner? And how did you accumulate that wealth? How did you get that wealth? Was it through a lawful means, or was it through an unlawful means? So wealth is also a blessing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the blessings that I have given you, you should be grateful. Sheikh Sa'di al-Shirazi, one of the famous poets, the poet that wrote Balagh al-Ula bi Kamalihi, that poem was written by Sheikh Sa'di al-Shirazi. He said that I was in Damascus one day, and I went to pray Salatul Zuhr in the masjid. He said after I finished praying, I went out and I realized that someone had taken my slippers. My slippers were there. So he said, I went back into the masjid and I complained to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said that, oh Allah, I came in your house to pray to you. Someone's taken my slippers. After complaining, Sheikh Sa'di left the masjid. And he was on his way to the market to buy some new slippers. When he arrived at the market, he realized that there was a person sitting in the market who had no feet.
Allah.
He said, Ya Allah, I am complaining that someone has taken my slippers. There's an individual sitting here who has no feet and he's not complaining. He's content in the position and in the hal that you have put him. Sheikh Sa'di went back to the masjid and he did tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That he said, I become so ungrateful that I was complaining that someone has taken my slippers, but there's an individual in the market who doesn't have any feet. And then he realized about the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the greatest blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be grateful of, is the blessing of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. That we have the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wassalam, and we are upon the religion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with Islam. And today it's so easy to practice our religion. Today we are not living in poverty. But let me tell you about the poverty of Islam in the time of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. In the Battle of Uhud, the uncle of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam was martyred, Sayyidina Amir Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And on that same battle, there was a Sahabi by the name of Mus'ab bin Umayr. Mus'ab bin Umayr was also martyred in this battle. The sister of Sayyidina Amir Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Sayyidina Safiya radiallahu ta'ala anha, she went home to bring the kafan for her brother Amir Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and she bought 2 sheets. And when the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam saw this, and he realized that Mus'ab bin Umayr also requires a shroud, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said to the sister of Sayyidina Amir Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that you have 2 kafan, you have 2 sheets. Give one to Mus'ab bin Umayr and give one to your brother. And who is Mus'ab bin Umayr? Look at history, and Mus'ab bin Umayr is that individual. He was an individual whose mother was very rich. The Prophet ﷺ said in Makkah, there was no youth that used to wear more beautiful clothes than Mus'ab bin Umayr. Mus'ab bin Umayr was that individual that he would wear brand new clothes every single day. After he had worn one pair of clothing, he wouldn't wear it again for the rest of his life. He was that rich. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had bestowed his mother with so much money and so much wealth, that this is the way that she showed it. But when he realized that, and he saw the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, his heart inclined towards Islam. So he accepted Islam, but his mother didn't accept Islam. His mother was a kafira. She said, you have accepted Islam and you left the religion of your forefathers. She stripped him of all of his wealth, to the extent that it was so difficult for Mus'ab bin Umayr to remain now in Makkah al-Mukarramah, that he went to the lands of Habash, and he stayed there for a few years. And when he realized, that when he was informed that the situation now in Makkah is not as difficult as it was before, he returned to Makkah al-Mukarramah. And look at the way he returned. The chadar that he was wearing had holes in it. And when the Prophet ﷺ saw this, he said, is this the same Mus'ab bin Umayr that used to stroll around the streets of Makkah and used to wear the most expensive clothes? And the Sahaba said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. And the Prophet ﷺ began crying. This was the poverty in Islam. These people gave every single thing for Islam, but they were rich in their iman. They were rich in their iman. Maybe financially they weren't rich, but iman, they had iman. And today we have forgotten that iman. On the battle of Uhud, the Prophet ﷺ said that Mus'ab bin Umayr is that individual who had so much clothes that he would wear one clothing and he wouldn't wear it again. Today he doesn't have even a kafan to shroud him, that he's going to leave this dunya. The Prophet ﷺ said, he said, you know the longer shroud, give that to Mus'ab bin Umayr. And that was given to Mus'ab bin Umayr. And the shroud that was given to Sayyidina Amir Hamza radiallahu ta'ala was too short. When they covered his head, his feet were being exposed. And when they covered his feet, his head was being exposed. This is the uncle of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Then the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam said, cover his head, and where his feet have been exposed, put grass on that, and bury him in this state. These were people that they gave their entire wealth for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But when it came for them to leave this dunya, they didn't have even enough money to cover themselves. And one day, Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, how poor they were. We know of that famous story on Ghazwa al-Tabuk, the expedition of Tabuk, when the Muslims were going to fight the Roman Empire, and the Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba to go home and to bring material for war. That the Muslims at that time needed resources, they needed a wealth, they needed money. At that time, Sayyidina Umar and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq were two individuals that would give the most wealth in way of the Prophet ﷺ. And they used to compete with one another. Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab on that day, he said that today I'm going to beat Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. I'm going to give more in the way of Allah than Abu Bakr is giving today. Sahaba would compete in the religious affairs. And look at our state. We compete not in religious affairs, we compete in worldly affairs. If someone has made a house in Pakistan or in India, I now need to make a bigger house. If someone is driving a flashy car, I need to be driving a better car than he is. If someone has so much money, I need to be working so much more hours to be more richer than him. But the Sahaba weren't like this. Sahaba were those people that they were competing with one another in religious affairs. Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala goes home. He says to his family, bring half of your wealth to me and leave half of it for yourselves. He brings half of his wealth. He places it in front of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ says, "Ma abakayta li ahlik ya Umar." Oh Umar, what have you left for your family? The Prophet ﷺ said, "Mislahu." I have left half of the wealth for my family and half I have given to you. The Prophet ﷺ said, I have accepted this from you. The time came now of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Sayyidina Umar said that today I'm going to beat him. But Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was someone that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him so much wealth. He went home, he told his family, every single thing you have, bring it towards me, I need to give this to the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Imam Suyuti, he writes in Tariq al-Khulafa, that nothing remained in the house of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, to the extent that when he was walking, with everything in his hand, the buttons that were on his shirt, those buttons that were on his shirt, he took those buttons off, and in place of this button, he put thorns to tie his shirt. He even gave his buttons in the way of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. He comes and he arrives in the presence of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. The Sahaba are witnessing this scenario that is taking place in front of them at this time. The Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq has given everything now in the way of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam asks him the same question that he asked in Umar al-Khattab. He said, Ya Abu Bakr, ma abqayta li ahlik. What have you left for your family? And Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq replies, Abaqaytu Allah wa Rasulahu. He said, I have left Allah and His Messenger for my family. I.e., Allah and His Messengers will suffice for my family. I do not depend on financial means. I depend on Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam at that time, Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came. Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam comes to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And he says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah is giving salam to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq today. Go tell Abu Bakr as-Siddiq that Jibreel is informing him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving salam to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And in the appearance that Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came was the same appearance as Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. I.e., the clothing that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was wearing that day was the same clothing Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam was wearing. The Prophet alayhi salatu was salam said, Jibreel, I have never seen you come in this state. The clothes that you are wearing are very similar to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salatu was salam informs the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, Ya Rasulullah, look at the heavens. All of the malaika have been ordered that they dress like Abu Bakr as-Siddiq today. Subhanallah. That they dress like Abu Bakr as-Siddiq today. Why? Because he gave everything in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Jibreel alayhi salam then goes to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and he said, oh, Abu Bakr, Allah is asking you, are you razi with him? Allah is asking, are you pleased with him? Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, Ana Rabbi radin, Ana Rabbi radin. Oh Allah, I am pleased with you in what state that you have left me in. These were people who gave everything in the way of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Back to the point I was making about the poverty of Islam. One day Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Sayyidina Umar have come out of their houses and they are standing outside Masjid al-Nabawi, outside the Hujra of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam walks out and he says, Abu Bakr and Umar, what has brought you out to me at this time of night? And they say, Ya Rasulullah, we are so hungry, that's what has brought us out. We don't have any food to eat. So we said that we'll come and we look at your face and we'll become satisfied. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam says that the same thing that has brought you out of your houses, which is hunger, it's the same thing that has brought me out of my house. I have not ate for days. So the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam and Sayyidina Umar and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq start to walk. And they arrive at the house of Sayyidina Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And he realizes that the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam hasn't eaten for days. And nor has Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Sayyidina Umar. So he asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that, Ya Rasulullah, won't you be my guest today? And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, it's up to you. If you want to feed it, then you can. If you don't, then it's not an issue. Sayyidina Abu Ayyub al-Ansari says to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, come inside my house. He tells his wife to sacrifice an animal and to cook the meat because the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam hasn't eaten. Whilst the food is being made, Sayyidina Abu Ayyub al-Ansari comes back into the room and he can tell from the body language of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam that they are very hungry. So he brings some dates and he places dates for the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. So in time, for the food to be made, they can, whilst in that time they can eat the dates. When the food is made and the meat is bought and the bread is bought, the Prophet ﷺ takes the meat and he takes the bread and he puts the meat on the bread and he says to his khadim, his servant, he says, go to my house and give this to my daughter, because Sayyidah Fatima hasn't eaten for days. This was the house of the Prophet ﷺ. This was the household that used to go for days without eating. This was the poverty of Islam. But these were people, when they left this dunya, they left in such an honor that 14 centuries can pass. Forget 14 centuries. More than 14 centuries can pass, but these people, their zikr will always remain. Because these people give everything in the way of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاشْكُرُوا لِي وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ. Be grateful to me and do not be ungrateful. Today, we are not living in poverty. We are rich. But the thing that we don't have, which the Sahaba had, was Iman. We need to go back and have our Iman and check our Iman. Check our Islam. That all the blessings that we have of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we show gratitude and we be grateful to this blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq that we be grateful to Him for the blessings that He has given us, especially the blessing of Islam and Iman. Wa aquli qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. There's two announcements. One announcement is, for the next 3 weeks I won't be here for Jummah because I'm busy away. And inshallah, tomorrow there will be an event in Jamia Masjid. Imam Asim is coming. After Salat al-Isha, there will be an event for those brothers that can understand English about hard times. So those people who have time, please try to attend this event. It will be after 8 o'clock, and Imam Asim will be there. If you all can offer your sunnah, inshallah. Today's program. Oh yes, regularly after Friday, after Isha today, I have my daily dars, weekly dars. Those who have time, please do attend after Salat al-Isha. And Jummah will be changed to 2:30. Jamaat will be at 2:30. And the khutbah will start around
1:30 and 2:30.
The first Jamaat is at 1:30 and the second Jamaat is at 2:30. And the speech for the first Jamaat will start at 1 o'clock. And the speech for the second Jamaat will start at 2 o'clock.
There is an English program on Sunday after Maghrib.
Anyway.